Hey, welcome back to another Mind the Mic podcast. I'm your host Shubz, here with a special guest in the building, a Brindian. I just learned, descendant of Indians who grew up in Britain, but he
Yeah,
also resides in Perth City, WA. Does a bit of producing and also works in finance, that sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway, what's good, brother? Sunny POC. How are you?
chilling, man. Very good, man. Thanks for having you. Blessed to be here, man.
Hey, nah, blessing to have you, my man. For anybody that doesn't know you, which wouldn't be many people,
Mm.
tell us about yourself.
Well, I guess Perth
We can go back to
wise,
the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning.
go back to the
Yeah,
beginning. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
why
Well,
not?
37 years ago, when the world was blessed with my presence. Now I'm just playing.
Yeah, that's
I'm, I was born and raised in England in a real small backwards town.
okay.
Where,
Can we
where
shut that town out?
yeah, well, I mean, I won't shout it out because it's a shithole, but I'll name it because
Yeah.
it's called Plymouth. It's Plymouth,
Oh,
and
Plymouth.
it's not
Oh,
new Plymouth. It's old
nah,
Plymouth.
not New Plymouth. Hey, not
Not
Plymouth
new
Rock
Plymouth.
either.
No,
No,
not
no,
Plymouth Rock. No.
no.
No, Plymouth is a place in the southwest of England, real working class area. I lived there until I was about 13.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was raised by a single mum. Was one of 3 brown people in my high school, so I didn't have the best experience in that place, to be honest. I don't rate
Yeah,
it
nah, wouldn't
just
be
from
too
my own
fun, eh?
experience.
Oh,
Nah,
yeah,
so I mean, I've been here since I was 13, so this is my
it's home.
24th year. This is home,
Oh,
man.
it's
I went
home,
to
baby.
school here, had a kid
Yeah,
here, built a house. Like everything is
yeah.
here, man. I've been here for most of my life, man. But yeah, just came up in a single mother family in a country where I definitely felt like an outsider. We were kind of ostracized from our family as well, so it was just me and my mum our whole lives.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was just one of those places that I'll probably never go back to be honest. But I'm glad to have been there and been through it. It makes me the man I am today. It makes me the father I am today. It's pretty much
Yeah, it's
it. But
part of
yeah,
the journey. I would say
it is.
that plus much more, but yeah,
Yeah,
indeed, it's part of the
it's
journey.
history,
You
man.
can't change that.
It's
100,
life
brother.
experience. Yeah, that's it, man. But yeah,
Definitely, brother.
but yeah, I've been here for most of my life, man. So whilst I still miss certain things about where I came from, this is home. I live
Like
in
what? What
paradise,
do you miss?
man. But mate, you know what I do? I miss the food. I miss the Indian cooking.
Oh,
I miss the aunties. You know what I mean? I miss that
oh,
home.
you ain't got no aunties around you now.
I've got no Indian family in this country. All my family are in England,
Oh,
pretty much. Like
literally.
all my blood
Oh,
family, I've got like adopted family here, but all my blood Indian family are in the UK. So I just miss the
your mum
small little
too?
things. Nah, that's the messed up thing, man. I came here because out of tragedy, bro. Like growing up with a single mom, she was killed in a car accident when I was 13.
Oh
Um,
shit! Sorry, brother.
yeah.
Should have
No,
fucking
no, it's all good,
should have asked this shit before.
dude.
Oh
No, but
no.
it doesn't bother me, man. It's character defining. It's just the way it is. It's the
Yeah.
history. So yes, when she passed away, I was left to my I was left in the will to stay with some relatives who happened to have just moved to Australia a year before. So I kind of
Okay.
got ripped out of my environment and left all my family and friends and everything, and then got sort of stuck, not stuck, but got sent to Australia, basically.
Mm.
Yeah, which
Mm.
it's a good thing. I mean, like I'm not sad about it anymore.
Oh
It
no,
sucks.
yeah, it's a
It's a
blessing.
good thing,
Like
but
you said,
man, I got a wicked opportunity to be here. Like, fuck it,
100.
why not,
It's a beautiful
man? Yeah,
place,
man.
man.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot more ups there, like a lot more, thumbs up around here. In my opinion, being in Perth, brother.
100%.
I had a
Yeah.
conversation with another brother from Sire Talks today. He lives in Perth and he's from Nigeria originally, but he pretty
Yeah.
much said like, bro, like right now I believe like we're in like one of the luckiest places in the world to be honest. Like, you
Yeah, I
know,
couldn't agree more.
Perth, Western Australia, Australia in general, but especially being in Perth, so
Yeah.
much opportunity, but also still laid back. Like, yeah, there'd be places where there's crime, right? There is everywhere in the world, but
Yeah.
like compared to other places, she's pretty good around here. You know what I mean? She's
It's a,
pretty
it's a,
good.
it's a good and a bad. It's what you get out of it at the end of the day. And my mindset is I could be somewhere worse. You know what I mean? Like
Fucking
at the
oath,
end
we
of the
could.
day,
We all
like
could be.
literally,
Fucking oath, brother.
exactly right. We got it good over, especially during all the bullshit over the last couple of years and stuff. We had it good here. Like we're safe, we're healthy, good place to raise kids, good place to have an education, good place to socialize. It's a beautiful place, man.
100%, brother. So you, what was so? Did you play sport back in the UK? Were you into music back then? Because obviously you produce now, you love to make beats. Was any of that on the horizon back then as a child before 13 years of age? Or
Nah, not at all. Like my mum was a real fan of music, so I got a lot of my original taste in music from my mum. So she was hard into reggae, got me into a lot of
let's
old
go.
R&B. Yeah, a lot of old reggae, a lot of kind of early 90s stuff when it started transitioning to more of the Western side as opposed to out of Jamaica.
Yeah,
Got into a lot of old school R&B. Big fan of just old 90s dance music as well, but that's just nostalgic. That's just through just listening
yeah.
to it and stuff. But there was never a musical note in me. My mum was never a musician or anything like that. I never played sport. You know, I did at school, but I was never really good at it. But when I was in England, that is, and I kind of got into it a little bit in Australia. But yeah, like musically, the journey was never really came about when I was living at home in England. You know what I mean? It came about me being a rebellious teenager in Australia. You start listening to Eminem, D12, you know, all that stuff. And it's like angry. And then everyone starts rapping and freestyling at school. But that wasn't a thing
Yeah.
when I was growing up. Like it just wasn't a thing. Not much of a hip hop scene where I came from.
The bro's from well, he was born in Plymouth and thing, but he lives in Perth now. So he's been here for a long time since he was 13.
24 years.
Yeah, my brother was just asking, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. No, so that's crazy, brother. So obviously the reason you come here, but so where did you go to high school over here?
So when I came here, so I was 13. So that would have I came here and started year 9 in I did year 9 in Como Senior High, which is
Como.
yeah, I was at Como for year 9 and 10, and then I started becoming a naughty kid. I started wagging school and smoking dope. Anything anything a 15-year-old does, right? Pretty
Yeah,
standard.
most of them, yeah, a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But then my legal guardians, who I had to live with, they couldn't handle it. They like they didn't deal. So they decided stupidly to put me in a private school, thinking it would save me. And so I went to Wesley College for year 11, which is a fucking shithole. I cannot stand it. It's one of the worst experiences I've had from an education perspective, especially from being a person of color and a
Yeah.
person from a lower economic standpoint as well. Like we didn't have Wesley money. They took money out of my
Okay.
trust fund to put me in there. So that was weird. And then when year 11 finished, I got kicked out of home. So I was living in a crisis accommodation in Armadale.
Really?
Yeah. So
Hey.
I just sort of, yeah, well, I literally a couple of weeks after finishing year 11, they kicked me out. And then I sort of put myself into school. So I enrolled into Willerton.
What was the reasoning for them giving you the boot?
Well, there's a mixture of things, and as a grown up, I kind of see it a little bit now. But ultimately, I was at that age where I was hitting puberty, right? Like you're a teenager, you're an adolescent, you're going to be pissing about anyway. On the other hand, as well, my mother had just been tragically killed, and I'd been ripped apart from my entire family and readjusting. So I don't blame me for being a little shit. You know what I mean? In hindsight, yeah, but they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't handle it, and they said you got 2 weeks to get out, or you're on the street. So I basically just looked around for places to stay, and luckily the Armadale had a crisis accommodation for youths, but most of them were out. Yeah, most of these kids that lived in this place with me were out of Rangeview, out of juvie. So a lot of it was like a halfway house almost. So it was weird me moving in there because I just come out of a family home and I hadn't had any prior convictions or addiction issues, but everybody that I lived with did. So I was there for 3 months and learned a lot of life lessons, really humbled me, really got me thinking about things. But at the same time, enrolled myself into high school, into year 12, into Willerton. And, the school kind of knew my situation. They paid for my uniform, paid for my books. I had like youth workers advocating for me and stuff. And I was living in government housing. I moved out of the crisis accommodation and got involved with the City of Canning youth housing project. So for a year, they basically housed me for real cheap in Linwood with another sort of disadvantaged youth, which, was a shit experience financially, but a fantastic experience when it comes to character building. You know what I mean? I met a lot of people and kind of sparked an interest in things. So as soon as I finished year 12, well, not that I finished it, I actually failed high school, but I then enrolled myself at Thornley TAFE and did Cert 3 and 4 in youth work, just because my own youth work has kind of inspired me and helped me out. And I was like, fuck it, I want to do this as a job. yeah, and got educated in that, and some circumstances changed, and I ended up having to disappear to England for 1.5 years. So I kind of let go of that goal, which was unfortunate, but it was circumstantial. But yeah, it was an interesting teenage life. I was for a little period of time, I was sort of on the streets outside Maya in the city, in the little bridge, sort of sleeping
Oh
rough.
yeah. Hey, I slept
Yeah,
up there. I slept up there a
yeah,
little bit too, man, when I was a
yeah,
teen.
no
So
shit.
yeah,
Yeah. I used to sleep up there a
yeah.
bit, and
I was
just
on the
sort
streets for a little
of
bit.
yeah, man. And I was just moving between mates' couches and houses and living with families, and sort of people took me in. And after a while, it didn't work out. So I ended up contacting my father, who I hadn't spoken to for 20 years or 15 years or 18 years. And I was desperate. And I was like, mate, I'm about to be on the streets again. And he sent me some money, and I went and moved to England with him, and kind of met him after years, and met three
Why
sisters
did
that
you
I'd
not
never
have
met.
a relationship, brother? What was the go there?
So my mum and dad divorced when I was about 4.
Okay.
I don't know a lot of history, just because two opposing
Yeah.
families have got different opinions, and I'll learn that I'll never know the
Which
truth. But there was,
which one's the real one?
yeah, and but from what I remember seeing, it was just violence. And my dad was a bit of an alcoholic and pretty violent dude when I was growing up. So they divorced. It was an arranged marriage. I'm a product of an
Oh,
arranged marriage. That's a
that's
cultural
no good.
thing.
Divorce is not good.
100%,
Like
bro.
no, hey.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the issue, man. When the divorce happened and my mum called it quits, my mum's whole family rejected us, so we got pushed away, like her parents and her and all that. So that's why me and my mum were solo up until she died.
Wow.
We didn't have anybody really. There was a few, aunties that came out of the woodwork after a while, but I never had a relationship with my extended family to that extent. Yeah, so yeah, culturally, divorce is not a thing in
I know. You
when
understand.
it's an arranged marriage. Yeah, so they
And then,
kind of,
like you said, you're a product of that of it not being fucking a part of the culture, or being frowned upon, or not even frowned upon, like fucking disowned.
straight up hated. Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a thing. You don't talk about it. If you're a divorcee, you don't get married again with any passion or respect. You get the dregs of another divorcee, and if you're a child of that life, you're just frowned upon anyway. So it's fucked up.
That shit cracks me up. Though not like cracks me up, but like it trips me out in a way that I think about a lot of people that be like, people just don't be married these days. Like my grandfather and grandmother were married for 50 years. Bro, yeah, and your grandmother hated your grandfather. Like, you know what I mean? It's not always,
exactly
but there's a lot of those situations
Yeah.
where they couldn't, because there was no support. If they did, like you said, they'd lose their whole families, and the whole of the town would turn on you. And where you gonna go as a mother of, sometimes 5, 6, sometimes 10 kids? What the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I
You're
mean?
trying
It's
to
easier
support
to just stay
yourself
with
and
the
all
baby.
this. Exactly. And that's the
Yeah.
problem. There's such a level culturally in many cultures of obligation and what you think you should be doing, as opposed to what you should actually do for yourself. And I try to break that cycle myself as a divorced man myself. Do you know what I mean? You see your family, sometimes you look at them, you're like, you're
It's
better
the
off
devil.
separate,
It's the devil. Now you're
Yeah.
divorced. That's what they'll say.
You're right. It's a fucking cycle, whatever it may be. But I made
No,
that
I don't
decision.
know. I'm just saying, like, there's probably somebody out there that's listening that
There's always going to
believes
be
in.
someone there.
Oh,
Definitely. But I blame hip hop. I blame his dad. Whatever the fuck it is, man.
yeah. The hip hop. Speak of hip hop, brother. Yeah. So, you end up over in back in the UK with your dad. How old are you at the stage?
I was 19 when I went back for 1.5 years.
19.
Yeah. And at that point, I'd been dabbling in a bit of rap. Like, I knew a producer in Perth. He was a friend, and just freestyling and messing about. A couple songs on the local radio station. Nothing serious. I was just trying. I mean, I listen to some of it now. I'm like, man, that shit was whack. Like, I was never a producer. I always started off as a rapper. Everybody was a rapper back then. 8 Mile came out, all that. Everyone could freestyle and all this shit. It was that.
Yeah.
But when I went back to England, there was no music involved at all. I went back and worked for a newspaper, and just pissed about really, and did my thing, and then just decided I was bored and just came back to Australia really.
Oh, true. So how does that happen? You just saved up your money and came back? Or...
Yeah, literally that. I got a one-way ticket. Like, my dad bought me a one-way ticket. I stayed there, and after about 18 months, 2 years, I was just like, I don't like this lifestyle. There was...
Where was he? Plymouth still, or no, another?
No, just outside of London, a place called Kent.
Kent. Yeah, Kent.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a cool. Yeah,
No, no,
yeah, it was an interesting place. You know, I did some work. I worked and became a little bit independent and traveled a bit around Europe and stuff. But after a while, I kind of just thought, man, this isn't the life for me. I want to go back to Australia. And I had a girlfriend.
He
as well
missed
that
Myers, baby. Hey, he missed Myers.
yeah, I miss Myers. I miss Armadale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I miss Armadale, baby. I
Yeah,
can't
bro.
be in Europe no more.
But I
Let's
was like,
go.
fuck it. Like I have a like a golden ticket. The fact that I could legally live in Australia. Why would I stay in England if I didn't have to?
Oh, true.
But
How did
I
that
just
work,
need.
brother? Were you
I'm
a
a
citizen?
permanent resident. Yeah, I was a
okay.
permanent resident because of the way I moved here. Because it was due to like having to live with legal guardians. I skipped the queue as a minor and became a permanent resident real quick. So I'm like, why would I stay in England? Like I'm a fuck it. So, but I had to experience it. You know what I mean? As a young
cold
man,
and raining all the time.
Cold, raining, miserable. You know, everyone's just stuck in the same position with the people I work with and stuff. It just wasn't stimulating for me. You know what I mean? Like it was cool, but I couldn't deal with the family dynamics and the politics as well, and just shit memories. So I'm like, I'm out. I'm building my life as an adult in Australia, and came back and killed it, man.
Hey, what's your mum's name, brother? You don't have to if you don't want to, but
no, my mum's name, my mum's was Promila. Everybody called her Pam. In fact, there's a little picture of her right there. Me and her.
Hey,
when I got pictures all around the house.
She got bandana on her head. What's that?
A bandana, man. She was a G.
She was about their life.
She was tatted up. She competed as and fought and beat the British kickboxing champion. We used to go to tournaments around the country together. Like she was enrolled in the Royal Naval Reserves and stuff. Like she traveled the world teaching and giving charity and stuff. Like she was a straight up G, man. Like absolutely. So I pay a lot of tribute to her. Man. Yeah, man. I always pay
your music in it.
Well. I don't put a lot of solo stuff out. You know what I mean? I'm mainly a producer.
Okay.
There's plenty of instances where I could write. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, write a little Sunny POC, dear mama. No.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing. That's one of the only goals in music I have is to record and produce a solo album for me as an MC and as a producer. And I've got a lot of content. There's already ideas and concepts and stuff that have been there for 10, 15 years. So I'm never not going to pay tribute to the people that made me who I am. Do you know what I mean? Like it goes without saying. It's just I can't write as quickly as some of these dudes, man. You know, it's mad. It's not easy for me to get that content and get that creative juices flowing when it comes to writing. I can make beats easily, but the writing thing's a little bit more difficult, you know.
Yeah. So did you bring your girlfriend back to Australia or?
No, I had a girlfriend in Australia when I moved back to England. So she was like my childhood sweetheart, and I ended up just going back to England just due to circumstances. But we stayed together for the 18 months, and then I came back and we still stayed together. Dude, you know what's funny, man?
Were you rock solid, brother?
I could have. There's every opportunity to, and nobody would have known shit. But the thing is, when I was younger, like, compared to what I am now, I was never a confident dude. I was never.
Oh, I see.
Physically, I wasn't reassured in myself. I didn't have sort of self-esteem. I didn't feel confident enough, and I can't go out and just pull women like that. I was young and I was kind of a little bit reckless, but I was never really that dude back then.
Okay.
Yeah, I was more just hanging out.
Now, watch out, ladies around Perth.
What I mean is, I know myself a little bit more. You know what I mean? Now, I'm a little bit more adventurous in life. But back then, I was a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, the adventures. I like it. Sunny POC, baby.
It's what it is. But yeah, we stayed together for a couple of years, and then just things happened and life got in the way, and but then ended up.
Is that the mother or not the mother?
No, that was the person I was with before the mother of my child. So me and the mother of my child, we hooked up a couple years later. Strange happening of events and stuff, but she's
got a blessing. Got the best blessing from her brother. So
exactly, man. Like gave me a son. My son's a G as well, man. Like
shout out to the son, baby.
Yeah, man.
Little POC.
Man, you know what's messed up as well? The kid is so intelligent, right? He's one of these. Been accepted into these gifted programs in high school and aviation shit, but which is fantastic. But I've always wanted him to get into music, and a few times I've tried to have him mess around on the MPC while I'm making beats, and I'm always playing stuff and. He's
Yeah.
just not into it. It's just not his thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'd rather you, do your thing and do whatever you want. But in my head, I'm like, man, I wish he could just jump on it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like take a bit of interest or something. But, is what it is. Maybe he will one day.
Yeah. Hard. Well, let's speak on that though, brother. MPC, we hear a lot of. There's a common thread throughout this is music, brother.
Yeah, man.
How did that begin, brother? Like the beat making part after the rapping.
The beat making stuff, like, so when I started rapping in high school, one of my
Yep.
mates, one of my best mates, he was a producer, but just a bedroom. Like this was back in like 2003, and he just made some beats and we would rap on them, and it kind of just sparked my interest. I never really got into it though, until maybe I was probably 24, 25.
Yep.
And you go on LimeWire or Pirate Bay, download free loot. You know what I mean? Download the crack version.
I've never heard of LimeWire.
What is that? Yeah, of course. So I mean, a friend passed me the program. Yeah, exactly. But I just downloaded it, and I was just interested because I'm a massive hip hop head. All I did is listen to hip hop throughout my entire teenage and adult life, and I kind of got interested in not the science, but the process in making beats. So I was like, man, the beat makes the song. For me, I'm a producer, I'm biased, right? You don't have a good song without a good beat first.
Of course.
And so I kind of got into it and started dabbling and messing about and just did it for my own sake. I've always said this to people. I started doing it because of my mental health. Like people hit the bags, people do yoga, people practice mindfulness. For me, it's sitting in front of a laptop with my headphones on for 6 hours making beats. That was focus for me, right? So I just thought it was interesting. I wasn't any good at it, but I learned. Like the nature of how I came about it wasn't from talent that I was born with. I had to learn everything. And I find that quite interesting. I can learn things that I enjoy doing. And then I think I was like, I can't remember. My son was born, so he was only a couple of years old. Maybe I was like 27, and I came about some extra money, like some disposable income. The mortgage was sorted, the wife was happy, we were good, and it came about some extra money. So I decided to buy some equipment. So I got some speakers, got a mic, got an MPC, this drum pad, and then just sat there for months just learning how to do it and just making beats constantly and just, evolving. They're all, not for producers, 75% of the shit you make is whack. From the beginning, at the start, is terrible. And then you get those few songs and people are like, oh shit, that beat's cool. So I kind of got a bit of a boost. And then I was saying this on whenever it was we saw each other the other day, and
Saturday,
I think it was Saturday, and I started like going on Instagram and looking at Perth artists, like local people, and I was like, fuck, I want to start collaborating with people. Like I want to get my shit out there. And I found a post of a dude in Perth, and I was like, oh shit, he says he's in Perth, and hit him up, and he lived up the road from me. And this is Dinero. You met him the other day. Shout out to Dinero. His
shout
album
out Dinero, brother.
Coming out in the next couple of days. And we met up. I was like, I didn't know how to do this, so I was like, let's go for a beer. And we met up at the pub and just started chopping it up and started sending him beats. And he was like, bro, these are fucking dope. And he started recording on them. And this is the first time anybody recorded on my stuff. And then he started putting stories on Instagram. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I've got my shit on there. And then next thing, he releases an album and puts it on Spotify and iTunes and all this stuff. And that blew my mind. I was like, I could never imagine this happening. I didn't know how to even do it myself. And then he hit me up. He linked me up. He's like, bro, do you mind if I send some of your beats to my friends? And I was like, hell yeah. And that was Universal. Shouts out Universal, one of the sickest artists to come out of, actually just one of the sickest artists I know as well. And then we started collaborating, and just through those guys who have been connected in Perth for years, like they've got a lot of history. Dinero and Universal have been around for a long time, like 20 something years overall, probably fucking 30 years combined. And they just started linking me up with other people, and they had little studio sessions. I remember for one of Universal's birthdays, they hired out a hotel room in South Perth, a big apartment. And it was supposed to be a 2-day recording session. And they invited me as one of the 2 producers that came. And this is where I met everybody, all the crew, all the people that I collaborate with now, all of my friends as well. We all met most of us on that night. And then it was just on Diggy Dialect. I met him after 18 years. I used to know him years ago. And then we started
back in the days.
We went to the same school. We went to Wesley College, the private school together. We had beef back in the day, man. I don't think he remembers that. Yeah, straight up. I told him. I talked shit, and like when we were younger, and we're all good now. It was funny because we were kids, but yeah, he ended up coming through, and we just made all this music, and it's been on since then. And now it's like whenever I hang out with my friends, they're all musicians. So if it's like, come over, let's chill, make some music, it's just organic. You know what I mean? We've got so much stuff in the vault. And through that experience and just meeting other people, it's just given me the ability to just reach out to people and just go, hey, man, you want to make a song? Here's a beat. Come over, record, boom, boom, boom. And it's pretty much all I do when I'm not working. It's just making music, man. It's pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of good people, a lot of good artists in Perth, man, that have inspired me and have like given me a bit of a platform. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always forever grateful as well.
Yeah. I love that, brother. I love that, bro. Shout out Perth, shout out the Nero, shout out Universal.
It's man, you'll meet them all, man. I've sent them the link to your thing as well. I want them to get on as well. Like,
yeah,
well, podcast and stuff. They're putting in like a lot of work, guys.
Like yourself, brother. Like yourself. Like my own way. I've been like this. I guess the city and this place. My family's been around these parts. Since the 90s. Like my father moved here when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And I got a lot of family here, brother. I've spent a lot of time on and off here for the last, 15, no, longer than that, since like 07, on and off. I've been around here or down south, but it's a beautiful place, as I said before. And I think, why not put people on here? I mean, we're gonna reach out to everybody around the world, but why not give everybody a shot at telling their story? And if they hear, brother, like anybody, even if you're on fucking, bro, Shubz, check this out, cause bro, I'll come have a listen, cause like straight up,
definitely. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of people with a lot of stuff to say. Like I was talking to my friend yesterday about doing a podcast, and he's not really aware of what that kind of world is like. He doesn't really do social media or anything, and he was just saying, he goes, all the podcasts that that are out now, these people are famous, and that's why they get listened to. It's not about the content or the conversation; it's about their image. And he's like, people like us have got more to offer and more valuable information. It's just we got to get on. Like there's so many good and robust conversations to be had from normal everyday people, motherfuckers that work 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, brother. The best, some of the dopest chats out, brother, and also just that lived experience you spoke about, brother. Earlier. Having that lived experience and touching on that, it's relatability. Like relatability is key. And you're right. Like there are a lot of people that do podcasts. Like I even seen some of the boys who do a podcast out here. Horace Tell Stories. Shout out the boys. Will Joe, Cairo Takarangi, and the bro Levi Keswick Ponga. But shout out the boys. But the bro Will Job, he read some stats, and it was sort of like speaking on how many podcasts are like last beyond 10 episodes. Something like 94% of them fall over. Like after 10 episodes. So you know what I mean? So even that, like for me, like I'm still a junior in this thing, but this will be like about episode 170 by the time it drops, something like that, which has only been in 4 months. January.
Oh shit! Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy you say that too, because some of the peeps that are from the weekend when I was, just talking, and the messages in there, and they were like said the same thing, and I was just like, genuinely, they're like, "What the fuck? I thought you've been doing this for ages." I was like, "No, like it's been an intent of mine to create this for years, but I just, procrastinate as we all do sometimes. I just fucking fucked around, but I was a streamer for years on TikTok, so." Yeah, streamed on TikTok for years and years, and like so in conversation, like with and being able to pivot in conversation, and that I think that's been a part of my life, because I went to 17 primary schools, brother. I moved everywhere when I was a kid. I was like troubled youth, all that kind of stuff. So I've always been able to hold conversations and have convos with all kinds of people. I've traveled quite a bit as well.
You're adaptable, you're relatable. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. Traveled to nearly 50 countries as well. Just traveling, just to travel, not music or anything like that. Just traveling, just because you like go for holiday and stuff.
50
and doing
countries,
that, I think,
as in 50.
Sounds crazy, brother, but it's not really when you think about it. Like, 49, not 50 yet, but if you think about it, right, there's how many countries in Asia? If you go to if you go to all these ones around here, you go to Europe, how many countries are in Europe? You know what I mean? Like even just in the UK, so they try to class those as their own countries as well.
There's
but it's
4 countries in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK, and then jump over to, if you go down from the northern part of Ireland to the Republic, there's another one. You know what I mean? Apparently.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but then when you put it together,
don't talk yourself down, bro. You're a well-traveled man.
Caribbean, you go to Caribbean, brother. You go to hit a few of them islands. You know what I mean? Cruise ship, you can smack out a few. So it sounds crazy, but what I'm saying is that that traveling that way and living that way, growing up, I've always been able to, have conversation with any kind of human being, brother. I've always asked
Yeah.
questions. I've been an inquisitive kid since I was little, brother. Like my grandmother always tells me when I was little, I'd always ask. She remember I would ask questions to the point where they have to go either take me to like the power station because I've asked so much about how the power turns on. Like I was just that kid. I'm still that way, I guess. So yes, January, but it's a whole lifetime, right, brother? It's a whole lifetime of experience.
Definitely, man.
It just comes naturally. And I'll tell you the story if you want to hear it. I don't mind, like
Of
how I
course, man.
actually
No,
got to here.
definitely. 100%.
So May this time, it's actually this week a year ago, brother. I oh, I had got number one on the TikTok rankings. Number one. I don't know
Okay.
if you know much about live streaming, which is in that
I
world,
don't.
it's huge. Like nobody like there's and I had got it on 3 different separate ones, which I think. From my understanding, from New Zealand, I'm the only one to do it on all 3 of those because one would be forever unless they change it back because it's all changed now
Yeah.
from New Zealand to do it. And yeah, it was just cool because like I had heaps of opportunities to do it, but things just you can get banned, brother, so you lose your spot in the rankings. They're weekly things, so
Yeah.
it's like from
Okay.
Monday to Monday, whoever gets the most. It's all based on gifts, so whoever gets the most gifts from Monday to Monday would win, right? Will get so whoever makes
What were
the
you
most money.
streaming? Like, what was the actual content?
Just me, just talking, brother. Right, you see right here, me
Oh,
asking people
shit.
questions,
Okay.
talking shit,
Yeah.
like play music, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I did that for years, cuz I did that for years. But in like a goal of mine was to get that number one spot. But I never, I didn't want to do it like other people did it. I just want to do it my sort of way. Ended
Yeah.
up going all right. But anyway, I got there. But once I did get it, there's a lot of shit that I pushed to the side, like and not dealt with, bruv, and like.
Okay.
And one of them was that I wanted to do this for years. Like I've listened to podcasts for like 12 years, since like the OG Joe Rogan days, brother, like OG ones, like when he was still at his fucking shitty, like the shitty ass studio setup, or the house, set up one, like those days when the like camera looks like, what is this? You know what I mean?
That's
It was
before
like,
podcast was really even a thing. That's
yeah,
that was
100. And even
very pre-Spotify, right? Like that wouldn't have
yeah,
even
it was way
happened.
pre-Spotify, but way I think pre-Spotify existence. But and even pre-Spotify taking over, like buying into the podcast space and pre all of that. I was listening to all those then, brother. Like just I don't know. Even Schultz, I know Andrew Schultz, the comedian.
I know the name. I can't say I can.
Okay, so he's sort of blowing up over the last, over COVID sort of period. He blew up, and he Charlemagne the God from
of course, man. Breakfast Club.
So him and
definitely.
Charlemagne the God for years, like more than 10 years, like 12 years ago, maybe 11 years, I don't know, something like ages ago, they had a podcast together, but not many, like it wasn't huge, bruv, but I used to listen to it back then too. So they had a podcast, and he I don't know how, I can't remember how they met, but from my understanding, it was pretty much Charlemagne, like just met the dude, like and he was like a stand-up comic that just did New York. They just did New York and like just did like open spots in New York, and he just thought he was cool and funny. And then Andrew tried to like get a Netflix deal and all this, and they pretty much turned him down. So he just started uploading all of his shit on YouTube, brothers. Upload it all for free, all free value, Gary Vee style shit. Just fucking put it up for free value, brother. And then eventually Netflix came back to him and like asked him to to do some big ones, brother. But like
because he created a brand.
Yeah, that's right. Personal branding, all of that
brand.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
100%,
right.
brother. But like I was listening to his podcast way then when I don't like, I would show like my friends because they know Charlemagne, right? And I'll be like, do you know this guy? And they were like, who the fuck is that? I was like, he does a podcast with Charlemagne. They're like, huh? Where's the video? And there wasn't even video then. It was just an audio. Yeah, it was literally so I'd been into it for a long time. There's other ones I used to listen to as well, just like whenever I'm doing shit, whatever. And I just always thought like, fuck, one day I'd like to do this, you know what I mean? But life happens, you don't end up doing it whatever reason. And it ended up this time last year, bro, got number one. The next day comes, and like, because I always said, oh yeah, I'm gonna get number one, and then we would go through it again, and we were number one again straight after reset, because it resets, start back to zero again, and whoever gets the most gifts again gets we were number one again. And then I was like, it was pretty cool. And then like obviously once I logged off, because I always told everyone once I get number one, I'm going to do it again just to see, get back to back. And then I was like, I'd also come off of Dream Factory like 2 weeks before that, which was it's an invite only ranks from TikTok where they invite you to try to, you know, but the points aren't just dictated on gifts. It was also dictated on, it's changed a little bit now, but it was dictated on how much time and how many battles you did, because you can do a thing called battles where you both connect with another live streamer and you have a 5-minute timer. Whoever gets the most wins, you know, and you can get the most depending on however you entertain your audience, right? And so, but what I realized when I broke it down, I was like, oh, this thing, if I do every battle, if I can get this amount of points. So if I have these 24 hours in a day, I'll probably need to sleep. I'll try to sleep 4, or maybe 3, and I'll do it because it was one whole week. I'll try to sleep 3, and then I'll do this, and I'll just, because I created a thing called or just a phrase, you know, Fast and the Furious, when they say we live, when Dom Toretto is like, we live our life quarter mile at a time. You know, quarter mile. Yeah, so I was like, we live our lives 5 minutes at a time, because battle is 5 minutes. So you got 5 minutes to push rematch. So, and then I had a whole crew of family. You know, shout out to the TFHI. And then I just said to them, everybody that was available, if they could, all I needed was someone to run a battle with me. Whether I win or lost, I still got the points for that dream victory thing. So they were like, yeah, sweet. And so I got about eight of the fam all linked up, and they were like, I was like, it doesn't matter who, just if you can let me know, like, let each other know when you want to go to sleep or you need to bounce, and swap with someone, and I'll run this thing. I'll run it while I'm having a shit. So I'll run it while I'll you know, just on my phone. I'll run it while I'm in the shower. I'll push rematch from the fucking shower. Like, I'm not going to be on the screen, but you know what I mean? Green screen, whatnot. And then let's see if we can not only get the dub, but let's see if we can like break the record. And then we got number one, but we got number one on, and we didn't even make the weekly rankings, because you also got points for gifts as well. So we didn't even make the weekly rankings, because we just hung out with each other and didn't bounce around, and really, you know, all I was doing was just rematching, and we smashed it and like doubled the next person's score, which was like a huge rank. Shout out to Tiz. But we got that. So I was probably fatigued as well, I think about it. And then we got into Rising Stars. I got banned and went on another account, Rising Stars. There was this tournament thing they created, like, you know, the first fucking knockout tournament that TikTok like sort of arranged and got all the top creators, live creators together. And so in there, the crazy thing was too, we ended up losing because it was a best of 3, but like our biggest gift is, because it's like whoever got the biggest score, right? But we teed everyone up, and then everyone was ready. But then we got the hugest score of that round, but then heaps of them got this thing called gift banned. So when they would go to send the gift, it would like fucking lag, bro. And like 5 of them got gift banned, and like if just one of them made it through, we would have won, like, and gone to the next round. And the heat that we had the week after, brother, like, shout out to the sis Curvinator, bro. She went ham, like, yeah, brother. Like, she pretty much fucking, you could have probably got a couple of mortgages on whatever she sent, brother, over there. But she, right out the gate, brother. But like, in the next week we got number 1. But when I got
you put the work in for a while then. How many years have you
it was a couple of years, but even then we were always in the ranks, like, somewhere for years. That's a whole nother story how I got into that, but I don't want to fucking bore you and fucking take up your podcast interview with it. So I'll try and finish this fucking point. But anyway, I got to the point where, like, I finally got what I was, you know, striving for, just to get finished at number 1, you know what I mean? Like, which means nothing, like, but just like a fucking trophy, like a World Cup. That's nothing too. It's just made up. It's a made up game with made up rules. You know, whether it's rugby or if it's rugby, it's dude chasing dudes on the field. Like, that's all it is. You know what I mean? It's all made up. You know, people are like, oh, that's
but it satisfies the human instinct of having achieved something, right? It doesn't matter.
100%, brother. But I'm not gonna. No, that's what I was gonna say too, brother. But that's what I wanted. But I just wanted to get it, and we finally got it. And then all the shit that I had pushed to the side, if I can just, you know, eventually it starts to fall back in front of you, right? Or pour piles on top of you. And so it did. And then I pretty much was going to hang myself, brother, that week, brother. I just fucking went out the back of me of the house and fucking went to go rope it up, brother. And then my baby, who's 3 now, but he was just, you know, what, he'd be 2 then, just teething, brother. And he started crying, screaming, brother. And I was I was about to do it. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I better go sort him out. And then when I grabbed him, bro, and I was holding him, bro, just tears just started pouring down. I was like, oh, what is this, bro? Like, what's going on? I just knew that at that point I wasn't in a position that I wanted to be in. I knew I wasn't who I needed to be for people around me. And I said, well, how do I change that? So from that day a year ago, this week, to I don't know exactly the day, but it was this week. I think it was Wednesday, I think, something like that. It was only a day or 2 after I got finished number 1. I just said to myself, let's put in a daily deposit into creating the biggest podcast in the world. And then I was like, how do I do that? And I was like, so I mapped that out, cause and like, fuck, I'm a baby, bro. And just started, but like right now. But like I said,
Yeah,
I'm gonna launch in January, and I'm gonna
yeah,
talk to not only like as bigger platform people as I can. I want to talk to my everyday people that I know that have cool stories, and give them all a
yeah,
platform to have a yarn, and so that their shit can live on the platform of all these other a whole year ago. That's right, Faith. Yeah. And that's where we sort of am. But I never really shared that shit with anybody. But I just started chipping away at it in my mind.
yeah,
The podcast, this original podcast, it was gonna be, because I had an idea to have a sports one. I had an idea to have an interview style one, and all these different ones. So I was going to do them all separately. So I
yeah,
started this with a few other boys, brother, and shout out to the brothers, Lukey and Petty. But then we started, but then life happens, and they couldn't sort of keep going. So
yeah,
from
yeah,
40, from episode 1 to 43, the boys are there.
yeah.
And it
Okay.
was going to be as a sports podcast. And once they, had to do their thing, I sort of decided, well, I'm still going, and I had already created it, made it all happen, like, you know what I mean, pretty much.
Yeah,
And obviously the boys they put in some time in there, but I created it all, fucking, like, and we chopped it up. Like when it comes to recording and editing, all that kind of shit, I did it all, brother. So I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna make it for nothing, or I'm gonna continue? So first week of February, I decided, no, I want to carry on. And
yeah,
yeah, so episode 44, that's if you ever tell a friend and they go, like, where do I start on this podcast? Go to 44, episode 44. It's a 10-minute episode. It's
yeah,
the only solo one thus far, but it was me after the boys left, and me talking about the pivot in the
yeah,
direction that I'm heading in, which was always the direction I wanted to do as a podcaster, but it was going to be a
yeah,
multiple. So yeah, so February till now, what's it been, 40? So this will be, like I said, roundabout by the time it comes out, episode 170. And
yeah.
yeah,
Damn,
but
that's
we
a
keep
lot of
going,
work,
brother.
man. That's
So
sick.
sorry about
That's
that.
cool.
Fucking, that took ages there. Holy rip.
No, but
Get
you
it
remember
out.
I was asking you I was messaging you today. I was like, I want to know more about this podcast stuff because, like I said,
Oh
I
yeah,
started one and I got the
we'll talk
concept and I
more and
got
more
the
about it
thing.
after we finish the recording.
Yeah,
But like,
we'll do it another time.
like
Yeah, yeah.
technical
But
shit. No.
I
After the
should,
recording, I'll talk to you about it. Like, if you
yeah,
need
yeah, yeah.
help
Cool.
and shit, I got you, brother. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Let's
That's
collaborate. Let's help. The more like the
just
more we
gotta hold
all help
people up,
each other,
man. Yeah, yeah,
the more we'll be a better place, brother. Knowledge is not knowledge gained is to be shared, I believe. And if we
yeah,
hold knowledge too much, then I think it's selfish, brother. Like, obviously, you know, if some people you believe wouldn't help you, I get that kind of shit. But if someone reaches out and wants to know, I don't mind. Like, yeah, anybody ask
yeah,
me a question,
definitely.
if I got the answer that, well, think I know, I'll
Yeah,
say what I think. But yeah, brother. So
no,
that's how this comes in. And then I finally started interviewing people. We started with
yeah.
Elijah Taylor, he's a former Kiwi rugby league player, and
Okay.
he's got a crazy story too. But he's a pilot. He's still playing rugby league in England at the moment. He's a pilot. He's a qualified pilot. He's fucking he also had his manager steal like $500,000 out of his fucking accounts and shit while he was, bro. It was
Shit.
crazy story. So his story was the first, but he was doing a thing called footy hacks, where he pretty much spits game to the youth, and like he gives them hacks on like questions that a lot of, I think, younger players around him are asking, and even
Yeah,
questions he probably would have asked as a kid, or now that he looks back.
yeah,
And so he's
yeah,
doing reels on that on Instagram. And then I was watching them for like a few weeks, and I was like, I'm just gonna hit him up and see if he jump on my podcast, because I always wanted to start interviewing, like, and I love rugby and all that stuff. So I'm gonna interview these players.
yeah.
And yes, I hit him up, brother, and then he pretty much hit me back straight away and was like, "Bro, message everyone, cuz." So I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, message everybody." And so I was like,
No
"Oh." So I
shit.
just started, yeah. And there's obviously some cool. I had interviewed a couple of people from TikTok. Like, one of the sisters was on Master Chef. Shout out Rach,
Okay.
Marco. One of the bros, Vasago. He's going all good, and then he started getting he's starting to sell out places. He's like a EDM DJ in that. But
Yeah,
one of his songs, like, I don't know, like 20 million or something on views on TikTok and that, or might be way more now. So I interviewed a few of my mates from there. You start with your homies, like from
yeah, yeah. And then
TikTok
you branch
circles,
out a
and
little
even
bit. Oh yeah.
Sis Morgan too. She was one of New Zealand's like OG TikTokers, and as well, she like 500K on her TikTok.
I saw you
And so,
interview
like,
Teddy as well, man. I've been watching Teddy for
oh,
like a
I
while
tell you,
now,
the
man.
man.
Dude is
Yeah, brother, but
hilarious, man. He's
that
so
all comes
funny.
from me. It all comes from Elijah Taylor telling me, just, bro, ask
Just
everyone.
hit
So like, I
anyone.
literally
Yeah,
I think I've seen like 5,000 plus DMs, brother, since fucking, when was that? Like, I don't know, in like late February, early March. Like
Yeah.
probably, I plan on keep sending them more, but now I don't really need to as much because more people are coming.
You
But I'm
kind of
still,
speaks for itself. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You've got that.
more
Got that.
more people are reaching out. You know, that's how it goes,
Yeah.
brother. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
why the mic anyway, brother. And the name
That's
actually comes from my bro Paddy and the bro Luke. They're Tongan and the bro Luke. Oh, Paddy's Tongan. The bro Luke is Maltese and I'm Maori, so that's how the name itself came about. But like I said, they moved on, but they'll always be a part of the foundation of the podcast and stuff. I never
yeah.
showed from that, brother. But
Are you
from
from North Island or South Island?
North Island, brother, but I lived a lot of time in South Island when I was a kid. A lot of family down there, but they're not from there. They just moved down there for work, bro. Down in Invercargill. Where you been?
No, but one of my best mates is from Mott, South Island, Motueka. I have my ex-girlfriend is from Riverton. Her marae was North Island, but she grew up south.
Oh, you're the marae or the flash guy? You're the marae.
So I kind of
Riverton, Invercargill. Did you go back there? Oh no, you didn't. But
I never went. I've not. I'm trying to go back with my mate when he goes back.
Riverton's down the road, bro, from Invercargill. So that's where a lot of my family live down there, brother. My dad and them were born down there, but again, their roots go back to Wanganui up the river, and my mum's from Ngaitarangi, from Waititi Island and Whakataane, in East Coast region, brother. So North Island. My parents from North Island, but
in relation to where you're from, my going back like in my early 20s, I was kind of institutionalized for a little bit medically. And this was a mental health ward. I think I can't remember how old it was, like 24. And I was in this place for about 3 months. And this is like it's at a hospital, Royal Perth Hospital and stuff. And there's all sorts of, you can imagine it was a fucking psych ward. And I remember in the first maybe couple of weeks, I'm sitting there in my bed, pissed off, medicated, depressed, angry. And I just hear this motherfucker playing acoustic guitar. And in my head, I'm like, I wish this guy would shut up. I'm trying to be depressed here. Do you know what I mean? And I walked out and I see this Māori fella and he's just walking around. He was a patient walking around, just playing acoustic guitar, just playing it to everyone and just lifting everyone's spirits. And I was like, okay. So I started like having a cigarette with him outside, started chatting to him, and ended up, he was the first guy that I ever produced and recorded a song with. We left the hospital. We got let out of the hospital for half a day. We went back to my house and I downloaded this beat off YouTube or something. And then I rapped on it. He sang on it. First time I ever produced or recorded another singer. And we've been tight for years now. We've been.
What was the song? How did the bars go? How was the? What was the
song's called? I can't remember. The song's called "Penny for My Thoughts," and it's basically about struggling with your mental health. I'll send it to you. It's sick. I've still got it somewhere on my phone. I'll send it to you.
How does the hook go? Do you remember the hook or no?
Well, he's singing on it, and I can't sing, man. I will find it for you though.
I was trying to get a couple bars there on a few vocal snips. Hey.
I you know what? I can't remember. I'm really bad at remembering lyrics. But but shouts out to Tame. I called him up the other day and I messaged him.
Is he the Motueka guy?
No. That's Corey. Tame, I'm not actually sure where he's from, but he just told me he's now competing in the World Championships canoeing. So he's a Nawaka, he's a waterman. So he's he competes he's competing for Australia in the World Championships in Hawaii.
Also, like
this year or next year. Well, I don't know. It's just like there's canoes. There's where you got a bunch of people on it. I don't know what. I don't know enough about the sport, but but yeah, I was like, but yeah, that was my introduction to people. I don't even know my phone is.
Is it on YouTube or nah?
Nah, man, nah. It's just sat on my computer for like 18 years, man. This is one of the first songs I ever made. You know what I mean? Like, but I'll send it to you. We'll make a part 2 one day where I actually make the beat. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I ripped that off YouTube. I wasn't producing back then.
Yeah, cuz
we got. I've got a song with him on Spotify. Check it out. Actually, I produced it for him. He's a singer. It's called Lonely Boy. It's on my Spotify.
Lonely Boy.
And that's about him and his struggle with social anxiety. It's about social anxiety.
And he's a singer. I want to hear this shit,
man, dude, he sounds like a dude from LAB. He's got that husky kind of voice.
Oh yeah.
He also sounds a little bit like Seal. Yeah, like he can sing like that, but he just doesn't do it often. He's not an artist. He sings in church. You know what I mean? He's never a recording artist.
Oh, I see. I see.
Trying to get this dude on
breathing in the dark. Let's get a break. What is the break's name to the LAB dude? I don't even know.
I don't know his name. I don't know what the guy's name is, but yeah.
I
But
don't know,
that's
but
I'll
he's
send you
the very on there.
That'd be
Take
smashing
me
it, man.
on, I'll lead you there. Yeah, tracks,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But yeah, man, I fell in love with the Maori culture for a long time, man. I had a lot of experience in it. I almost married into it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
apparently I can cook the best boil up and fry bread
Oh,
for
yeah.
someone that's not from New Zealand, man. Like I
Yeah,
can, you know,
cuz.
I learned
Oh, what
and
man?
jumped into that culture. Only thing I can't do that you
Mm.
motherfuckers love is kinna, man. That's one of the most disgusting things in the world, bro.
No,
Like,
I
I
don't,
can't
bro.
do
You know what's crazy, brother? I'm a plastic Māori, brother. I don't even like I don't even like fish, brother. I don't eat like anything
Oh
from the sea.
shit.
But I
Okay,
love
fair enough.
diving in it. I love that shit. I love to go get it.
Yeah,
I'll go
yeah.
get it for you. But yeah,
Yeah.
my aunties, bro, they love me because I bring back a full sack, baby. Ain't
Because
full
you won't eat
sacks
it.
out
That's
there.
the thing. It's all
No, I
left.
don't
Yeah,
eat it, cuz. But my mom reckons when she was pregnant with me, that's all she ate, brother, was seafood. So yeah, I don't even touch the stuff. So yeah, no, I ain't touching Kenna or anything, bro. So you do. But yeah, I want to hear the song, man. I want to hear the song. Straight up.
Yeah, Lonely Boy, man. I'll send like that's
Lonely Boy.
it's the first song I ever released on Spotify as
You got a speaker there or something? Can you play us like Lonely Boy through that mic or what?
yeah. Give me a sec. Let me just get my phone. Hold on.
Yeah, let's go, bro. Mm.
Do you know, for real, I actually haven't listened to this song for ages.
Yeah, brother. Sweet as. Do you think?
Let's have a look, man.
She got the best conversation. She look good from head to toe. I think one day she just might become the future Willie Mo.
I need to get you to make some music with us, bro.
You don't come talk shit, brother. I'm ever blaster. Just come hang out, even, bro. You know, just
Man, where you at? Are you south or north of the river?
South, brother. But you know.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But that don't matter. That don't matter. Oh,
No,
no.
I'm just like.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, I mean, don't matter. But I'll hit you. I'll hit you after when we push end. Then I'll tell you.
Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Sitting all alone in the corner, just can't find what's wrong with me. Is it just my persona? Is this the way it's meant to be? 'Cause I'm just a lonely boy, that's just me. The classroom is where it all started. Cruel kids would say I'm retarded, and teachers don't know what's wrong with me. Give me comic books, draw some pictures, let them daydream. You made a lonely boy out of me.
That's how most of it goes, man. But yeah,
That's
dude can
dope, brother.
sing, dude could write, man. We did this in my fucking bedroom for like 3 months and tried to get it done, but yeah, that's definitely a song I'm proud of, man. I'll send you it, but yeah, that's just one thing as well is with the people I collaborate with, they've always got something to say. They're not just people that just want to get famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They've always
brother.
got, the content
100%.
is key when it comes to this music stuff as well, man. They've always got something to say.
100%, my brother. 100%. Nah, I love that, my man. Love that that energy, that experience, cause it's a beautiful thing, man. It's up the music, man. So if they want to reach out to you, cuz where do they go? Sunny POC.
Instagram, I mean Spotify and the streaming platforms, it's Sunny space POC.
Yep.
Instagram, I'm pretty sure it's the same, Sunny POC.
Yeah, I think underscore POC.
Underscore POC or something like that. Like, yeah,
Sunny with a issue. It's issue NNY to anybody that's listening audibly. It's issue NNY. If you're listening on Spotify, then you're already on the app. Type it in right there. If you're listening on Spotify to this issue NNY POC, let's go.
I'm trying to get more stuff out. I'm trying to get my profile up because I haven't really been that proactive with it. But we're doing an album with Dialect at the moment. That's wrapped up. We're doing the, you were at the film shoot and stuff. So I'm trying to like from a promotion perspective, trying to up my profile as well. So I've got going to a beat battle in a couple of months, just trying to release a lot more music. I've got so much shit in the vault. You know what I mean? I want to start working on my own solo stuff as well, and actually be progressive and proactive about it this year. Because
let's see it happen, bro.
There's no reason not to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I finish work at 2 o'clock every day. You know what I mean? In the afternoon, so I got a whole day and night every night to myself.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, no excuse, baby. Just get it done, brother. Just like me, I made excuses for years, brother. Now we're here doing it. Long way to go
You
from where we
smashed it,
want to
man.
be.
Like, you definitely inspiring people like me, man. Like, honestly, you're really getting it. Like, it's fucking inspiring, bro. It's cool.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know, we ain't afraid of hard work, brother, out here. But also, it doesn't feel like work, brother. It feels amazing. It just feels, I don't know. It just feels like every. I just, like I said to you, I made a decision then to daily deposit towards this. I learned all I could to before I launched. I launched when I said I would, and I've just gone ham since, brother. And I'll keep going ham after, brother. I plan on doing this till I'm old and grey, cuzzy. So, you know.
Well, they say if you find a job you love, you're never going to do a day of work in your life. You know what I mean? And if you find someone you love, it's just a passion.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like when you're trying to run it at this clip, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard.
Man, I can imagine. Yeah. That's why I gave up 4 episodes of my one, man. I was like, this is too hard. The editing was a bitch, man. I was like, fuck, this is way too hard.
You know what it is, CG? Like, we'll link about that in a sec, brother. But yeah, just fucking go get it, man. Just go get it. You got this, brother. I believe in you. You got the talent, you know. I mean, you already got, you know, MCs, the fucking vibe, brother. You got songs out there. Just keep putting them out, brother. Like I said, it ain't all gonna hit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But eventually,
what you talk about it's not all gonna hit. All my shit hits, my man.
No, but I mean, like, I'm talking about with like the, you know, what is out there. It might not all blow up, but all it takes is one to blow up to bring back the traffic to all the rest of it, brother. So,
of course,
you know, I'm talking about in that way. But I'm proud of you, brother, and I look forward to. This won't be the last time we do work too, my brother. I feel it in the bones,
sure,
brother, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I got a couple of questions before we do get out of here, though, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. If you could only have one meal for the rest of your life, which one do you choose and why? And it has to be a real meal.
Great question. It's a good old British lamb roast, man.
British lamb roast.
A British lamb. I'm a massive foodie. I cook and I love food, but nothing goes back to the nostalgic stuff from when you're a kid. And it's always roast lamb, and it's, you know, roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings, and unless you've ever been to England and had a British carvery and a Sunday roast, you won't know what I'm talking about. You know, it's probably not as good as what it could be, but fuck me, British lamb roast every day for the rest of my life. I'm good. 60 kilos later, I'm good.
Okay, man. I want superpower, but wise, brother. You got one, or maybe you want to create one?
A superpower?
Yeah. What superpower do you want, or would you have if you could create one?
I got two. I got an answer for both. If I could have one that exists, it would be teleportation. Just because, why the hell not? I hate journeys. Yep. But if I could create one, it would be to allow people to feel good about themselves at the click of a finger, and just let them, you know, the removal of self-doubt for people. That's just for me. That, you know, people, right? You know how you touch someone and they change forms or whatever. For me, if I could touch someone's hand and then they just feel better about themselves, for me, that's the best. That'll be the greatest superpower in the world, man. That's something
I like that one, brother. I like he's got a created one and he fucking got a standard stock one. I like it, brother. Yeah. Give me visualization 10 years from now. Sunny POC, where we at?
10 years from now, in reality, life is going to be in Australia, and materialistically, I don't give a fuck. Work-wise, I'm not bothered. It's going to be being able to chop it up with my son as a man, as two men, just normally. That's one thing that I envision. You know, things happen, divorces happen. I don't know where it's going to go, but I want to be able to build an adult relationship with an adult child. And I just want to be content, bro. That's it. I don't have any material needs in life. I've got a good job. I live in a beautiful place. I've got the things that I need. The only thing that I don't have is being content with where I'm at. So in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I just want to sit back and go, wherever I'm at, whatever I'm wearing, whatever car I'm driving, I've got to be happy with it. And that's it, man. That's me in 10 years, is just being content and finding purpose. And that's it, man.
Yeah, that's beautiful, brother. I love it, man. Well, just want to say, my brother, time's the most valuable commodity we have, as you know.
Absolutely.
It's one thing we can never get back. You can always get back things. We can always get back money, but time spent is time lost. So thank you for sharing your time with me. Time you could have been making the dopest song of all time, bro. So,
Nah, man, I
thank you,
appreciate
brother.
the time you gave me, man. It's much appreciated. Respect.
Anytime, brother. And this doesn't have to be the last time we sit down here, and it certainly won't be the last time we talk in the physical or sit down together, because we got some, there's plenty of work to do. But
Absolutely.
I wanna definitely put on for the city, brother, for sure. And people like yourself, Diggy, all the boys, and even the sister, from the weekend, and
She
anybody
killed
that's
it,
out here
man. I
just
don't know.
trying to give
Shout
it.
out to Pseudo, man. She absolutely
Yeah,
smashed
pseudo.
that track, by the way.
Anybody
Yeah.
out there trying to do it, but I love it, man. And yeah, just keep being a blessing, brother, to the world. Shout out to anybody that's listening on any platform. We appreciate you guys. Make sure that you follow the bro Sunny POC. That's SUNNY POC, and follow Mind the Mic on YouTube if you want to watch the video too. Yeah, big love, blessings,
Respect.
Thank you so much for watching this full episode of Mind the Mic. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to create these episodes. So to know that you've watched and listened to the entire thing means the world to myself and all our hosts. If you could, before you leave, please hit the subscribe button and share this episode out to as many people as possible. It would help us so much. Thank you again to everybody that's still here, still watching. Thank you for all your comments, all your shares, all the DMs. Appreciate you all. Make sure you follow us on every platform. Have an awesome morning. Have an awesome night, depending on where you are in the world. Mind the mic out.
Oi, have you hit the link in bio yet?
Watch full episodes on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all streaming platforms.